covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, the Baroness and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Me.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, the Baroness, Summer Helene, and we are on with my co-host, Fuzzy McAmerican Flag. What are you wearing? Do you know there's a law that says you're not allowed to wear an American flag as clothing?
Well, to be fair, is this really the American flag, or is it American flag inspired?
What is it?
This is my Team USA MMA track jacket. I got a whole tracksuit. It's wonderful. I've wanted one for a while. But I'm wearing it because I'm representing the United States in the IMAF Pan Americas, which is a MMA tournament down in Mexico. And I have 2 opponents so far, at least. So that's excellent.
So I'm pushing designer clothing on him. I'm trying to get him to wear this Celine, workout suit. I'm trying to get him to wear Dior. This is what he wants to wear.
Because I am a man of the people.
I'm going to get you like a Celine tracksuit and you're going to wear it.
And this. I'll wear this over what you want me to wear. How about that? We could both be happy. What if we cut the Celine jacket in half and cut this in half and meld them together?
In other news,
I'm trying to make
in other news, Kris Jenner just had her birthday party.
Sorry, who?
Kris Jenner.
The mother of all the kids. Who are not really kids anymore.
Yeah, Kris Jenner just had her birthday party. She had her 70th, and for her 70th birthday party, her face just turned 2.
She's 70 years old.
She's 70. She looks fabulous. God. That is the best facelift I have ever seen. I would like the name of her surgeon. If anyone knows it, please send it, and I'll give you a free ride at Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California.
You're barking up the wrong tree. Don't you know that everyone in Hollywood's natural?
Yes, me too. Shout out to Sage and Honey Wellness Spa for my face.
You can
for my natural face.
Yes, a really good med spa, guys. Go check it out. It's in, I believe, Rancho Mirage, California.
But I will say this. So Kris Jenner turned 70, her face turned 2, and they turned their back on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Well, who hasn't at this point?
Oh, lots of people.
It's ridiculous.
So essentially, Duke and Duchess of Sussex showed up at the birthday party. Lots of photos were taken of them. Then they were stripped off of her social media.
Oh, that's interesting. So she invited them, but then didn't have anything to do with them online. So why invite them?
I have no idea. She put up photos of them, then stripped them down. So I think everyone's a little shell-shocked because the latest patent to remove Prince Andrew's title has been pushed forward. Right. Now, we all know I'm a huge advocate for monarchy, for peerage, and I genuinely believe that you should use your titles. I didn't for a very, very long time. I believe the more people use their titles, the more socially involved people are, the better. And so I really encourage people that are titled to pass on your titles. Don't lose them. But I kind of agree with removing this whole situation with Andrew. If something's going to stay in the monarchy, that has to be the absolute most important thing.
Yeah, and he's got so much negativity tied to him that I think it's about time that they do something to kind of separate themselves, not make it look like they're. I know the king is going to put him up and support him financially until the end of his days, but at least
it's go away money. It's go away money.
That's what it is. It's that comes across as appealing to the people, I would imagine, who don't support him, who probably were against the monarchy for supporting him since the whole Epstein thing came out. Which, by the way, did you know they released 20,000 documents, the GOP did, of the Epstein report out of spite, because the Democrats released 3 emails and they redacted a bunch, some crucial information in the emails. And I'm not saying that Trump is totally unequivocally didn't do anything wrong. What I'm saying is in those 3 emails, it made it look like that he had relations with the young girl who came out and accused Andrew of
the girl that offed herself.
Yes.
You know what's funny? Usually I'm a big believer, if someone wants to take themselves out of the gene pool, let them. I have no problem with people doing that as long as you're not affecting others. Like, don't jump off a bridge and make other people clean you up. I don't care. Go do it yourself. But in this case, when someone's dealing with trauma, I think there needs to be a line. But she's had that book, Nobody's Girl, is really sad because her husband also abused her. And in the book, she's exonerating him. And what you can see is through the lens of trauma, essentially because of how terribly she was treated. She doesn't even realize when she's being treated badly. It's very sad to look at. I think psychiatrists and psychologists for a very long time are going to be looking at that and the trauma. But yes, might be going through I do think it's interesting that America's like, you know, you've got people on the right and people on the left going, well, you're in the Epstein files more than I'm in the Epstein files. You're both in the Epstein files. Shame on you.
But anyways, that's what happened on the Democratic side. So the GOP released 20,000 documents in the hopes that it would show to exonerate Trump, saying he didn't do anything wrong.
And it made it worse, well, yes.
There's two things, and yes, it did make it worse. One, it does show that Epstein is specifically saying, no, Trump never did anything with that young lady in particular. But it also says a bunch of other incriminating shit about Trump that they thought was just going to be able to be brushed past. Because
they were trying to figure out if he performed fellatio on Bill Clinton, and that's what Putin has pictures of and why he's being blackmailed. So you guys know. That was not an accurate, that was part of the 3 mails.
Oh, okay.
But now, so you know, it was meant as a joke. Nobody is actually implying. Well, now for some reason, now they are implying that but that wasn't the whole point. Basically, they're like, well, who did he blow to have, you know, be this far into Putin's thumb? That was the joke. But everyone, as usual, is taking everything out of context. And this is why I tell you, America is a failing country. Your economy is crashing. Your politics are stupid. Come back to the Commonwealth. Shame on it.
They're all bad. Well,
it's terrible.
Ghislaine Maxwell has something on Trump to be put up in such a low security prison where she got a pet.
Hang on, pause. No. Ghislaine Maxwell has something on multiple politicians. You guys keep talking about Trump. We know it's Clinton. We know it's Trump. We know it's everybody. So I don't know why everyone's making this about, like, you know, Trump did this and the Democrats did this and the Republicans did this. Why is it okay that anybody, like, I remember they were talking about Pizzagate and the pedophile ring. Then they find out the pedophile ring is tied to Trump. It's this whole thing. Why is this a thing?
We love, as a country, I think, to get behind people we idolize. That's why we literally have riots over which sports team wins or loses their match.
Darling, I grew up in the Commonwealth.
Okay.
We win at having riots over sports teams. I'm just saying.
Well,
we're idiots.
Then you get it.
No, I don't. Yes. Do you know, we threw like sports hang teams. On. You are born with titles where I come from.
Okay.
And we went, you know what? You're getting tossed out. Born or not, you lose your title. Lettuce patent, gone. Your title's gone. So in our case, even being born with a title is not enough to protect you from being a kitty diddler. But you guys are just arguing about who was a worse kitty diddler. That's not the line.
No, that's I want to bring back to say that sports politics, because that's how we treat it. It's like, yes, he lost, but he didn't lose that bad. He lost like this. And we see that a lot. Actually, in my world, in MMA, people justify, oh, he lost the decision, so it's not that bad. The other guy couldn't finish it.
He lost. It's all it is. Okay.
He lost.
On other news,
yes, all right.
Princess Eleanor of Spain is being commemorated, which is absolutely a Princess Leonor. Eleanor. I'm looking at the wrong one. Princess Leonor of Spain. I'm looking at Eleanor. So you know, I was looking at a tiara that belonged to Princess Eleanor right before that.
Of course you were looking at a tiara.
I need a tiara. I need a new tiara. In Hollywood news, a survey found that 97% of people cannot tell the difference between music made by AI and regular people. In fact, country and Western music, ballads, it does not matter the type of music. 97% of people cannot tell the difference between computer generated music or real music, which goes to show you how much computer generated music and how much voice tune we've had for so long that no one can tell anymore,
because
it's already augmented. If you compare the music, the AI generated music, to old ballads and tunes from before computer generation, people can easily tell the difference. But modern music, the Ariana Grande, homewrecker of it all, shout out, by the way, her co-star defended her from a dude that jumped out at her. Now, he was just trying to get a picture or whatever, but security wasn't there. The guy jumps the barrier, the guardrail, tries to get a picture with her, and it was really, really shocking. That should be part of public affairs and Hollywood news, but I'm looking at it as part of MMA news.
Well, it's all fight related. Why not? I do want to add something real quick to that point you made about AI. There's
before we do, please. Cynthia Erivo, shout out, by the way, came to Ariana Grande's aid. And if you guys get a shot of her face, she's terrified. This guy's jumped out at her. Please remember, this is the same girl that's had shootings at her concerts. She's had a lot of these things happen. Now, I do not like Ariana Grande. I think she's a homewrecker and a whore. But I'm just saying.
She should not be getting shot at.
And she certainly should not be being accosted. I don't think anyone deserves that.
That's because everyone who's in
and shout out to Cynthia Erivo,
people who watch them.
Cynthia Erivo. Now, I always loved Cynthia Erivo's style. I've never been a huge Cynthia Erivo fan. Ever since she got really bitchy about people remaking the Wicked flyer to look more like the Broadway musical. They had covered the eyes and turned her essentially into that. She got super bitchy about it. I'm like, you know what? Appreciate your fans. They just wanted it to look more like the musical. Stop being dramatic. I get you feel how you feel, but feelings aren't facts, deal.
This is the same energy as last name Shamel. But anyways, he's the voice actor. He's the American voice actor for Goku. And when you listen to him talk at panels, every time he goes to a panel, he gets the same question. What do you think of the abridged series? The guys who made your show into a parody on YouTube and got super famous. Almost every other one of his co-stars are like, oh, it's hilarious. I've seen it. The guy who voice acted Vegeta wanted to be a part of it. He's the only one who's like, fuck those guys. They're doing something illegal.
I'd like to remind everyone, every time we use bad language, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because Bear cares.
Thank you. But yeah, he's just very, very odd amount of hate towards people who really just are trying to honor
and that's it. Like, I'm a Dragon.
Her thing.
I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. I really am. I got to tell you, when he and I were hanging out and I didn't realize we were dating, that's the whole thing.
Didn't realize we were dating.
Didn't realize we were dating. He was just chasing off other people I was trying to date.
And taking you out on dates.
I thought we were hanging out.
And making out with you.
That we were doing.
Well, I was just saying it's
I thought it was a more casual thing than it was. But one thing I did like was he would loan me Dragon Ball Z.
I did.
DVDs. I like Dragon Ball.
I loaned her season 29 of Dragon Ball Z just before the Buu saga really kicked off.
My favorite's still a Frieza saga.
It's the best one. Yeah, you can't. There's the reason why he's in all the new shows and movies, because he's just a great villain. Let's see, where are they going back to? Speaking of great villains, but they're AI generated. I just wanted to say that when we were talking about the music, right? People have a hard time. I have a hard time figuring out the videos nowadays. There's one going around that's kind of viral for a mother bear picking up her cub and placing the cub in the car of a family. And until I read the caption below that said this is an AI generated video, I was astonished. Maybe this is a handler that the bear recognized, or maybe it doesn't understand what it's doing.
If you guys want to see how far we've come with AI, look at Will Smith eating spaghetti, the first video versus now.
Yes, the original versus now. It is incredible how far along AI has gotten, and it's truly gonna.
I do encourage you to please learn to work with AI and give yourself a job that cannot be replaced with AI.
Yeah.
One of the things I encourage people to do: find jobs that cannot be replaced with AI. I can't be replaced with AI. Bear sort of can.
They're making robots. They're making fighting robots.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I can be. We love the blood and the guts, but once we learn how to put skin suits on these things, it's gonna be really hard.
I think there's always going to be a desire for real combat.
Yeah.
But it's going to pay less, because what makes people valuable
is funny.
is the celebrity
make
behind
them
it.
Pay more because anyone can go watch robots fight. But if you want to watch humans fight, you got to pay a premium for that.
Yeah, but you can pay the fighters less. You can't tell me Dana
that's
White's
true.
not going to figure that out.
Oh, he's going to look.
I love Dana
make
White
humans
is a
fight the
business.
robots.
Yeah, Dana White's a brilliant man.
Yeah.
In other news, a French cat named Remy was placed under court-ordered house arrest and given a £2,000 fine for ripping up his neighbor's garden.
So it's a joke, right?
No, he really did, because he kept doing it. And the people refused to keep him inside. So the cat's now on house arrest.
Really, you can't do it to a cat. It's the people who are paying and have
the
to deal with
people pay the fine, and
consequences.
the cat has to stay in the house.
The cat has to stay in the house. Your cat's not allowed outside. He's an absolute menace, and you need to pay me $2,000. What do you think that conversation went like? Because they had to take it to court, right? So they couldn't do it amicably. He had to sue these people. Which, by the way, they must be really shitty cat owners to be letting that happen. Because for when you're letting the cat out to go and do this, it can get hurt anyways. But beyond that, now you're tearing up your neighbor's property, and so you have to pay them.
And that's why the cat's on house arrest.
Rightfully so.
Our cats are always on house arrest.
Absolutely.
They're indoor kitties.
Oh, that's because one of them went outside and panicked, and then it tried to get outside again and just sat there and knocked on our door. I say no, he banged on our door for like 5 minutes, and someone realized and came and let it back inside.
He was not happy.
They don't want to be outside. No. They're not good outside.
I wouldn't let them out anyway. They're Persians.
Yeah,
I actually wouldn't let any cats out, because unless they're indigenous to an area, they're just going to kill the local flora and fauna. For those that don't know, excuse me.
Boy, you're tired.
I'm exhausted. For those that don't know, the most prolific killer in the entire world is the house cat.
Yes.
It kills more local flora and fauna than anyone else, and clearly flora, because it got fined and put on house arrest for it.
Clearly,
but fauna,
fine materials and goods.
Exactly. But cats are actually the most prolific and successful hunters on the planet.
Yeah, they are.
It is absolutely incredible, and they're a pervasive and invasive species. That said, they deserve to be snuggled.
They deserve to be snuggled.
They deserve to be snuggled.
With you, it's more like a struggle snuggle.
Oh, I will hold it down and snuggle it. The promotional poster for UFC 322
my neck of the woods.
Is being promoted by VChan, which is a cryptocurrency. So everyone is concerned with the inclusion of cryptocurrency into the MMA world.
They've already been there. They had like Bitcoin for a while. I'm surprised that they aren't just going.
Bitcoin's legit though.
Well, it is legit. That's why
this one's not. That's the whole point.
They're trying to make it legit. That's why they have the name to it. They fed a bunch of money to the UFC probably. And the hope is that, hey, we're making our coin valuable enough that it can support itself like Bitcoin can. Or maybe it's going to be a big rug pull here in the next few weeks. We'll see. We will absolutely see. It wouldn't surprise me, unfortunately, if that was the case.
UFC and IBM announced a new In-Fight Insights AI-driven live alert platform debuting at UFC 322. It monitors and records fight movements in real time. So it's going to be analyzing fight data. So I think that fight AI thing that you're doing is actually ahead.
It sounds like they're moving towards the Fight AI. So I'm working with a company called Fight AI, and their idea is that they can.
Bear is obsessed with him. It's kind of ridiculous.
You can upload footage of your training, good or bad, to the program. It'll analyze and tell you what you need to fix and how you can fix it, which is incredible for those who cannot get into an actual gym with actual coaching. So that's what it sounds like they're doing with this. Is they're gathering
shout
data
out to
be
Fight
able
AI.
to do that. Yeah. Go download the app.
He's weird.
That's my plug. That's my plug for this episode. Fight AI.
He is weird obsessed with that app.
It's a great app. I think everyone should do it, and everyone should be able to learn martial arts. That's the whole idea. The next step for it would be to actually offer coaching and tactics for those who know zero.
They already do that. They have something called School. You can go get Sam Alvey to do that.
Yeah, that's not AI generated. That's
no.
It's and
then Sam had a cage fight, or it was a sparring.
Yeah, Sam Alvey. This happened just last weekend. He had a matchup with a guy named John, and his socials, John the Amazing.
No, don't shout him out.
Oh, I
know.
I don't appreciate how it went down.
I know you like him. So, and I know you're not telling anyone this. So Bear gave him money to get home because this guy didn't have money to get home after he did that. I know you're not trying to get that out, but I don't care. I'm putting that out. The reason I'm saying this is Bear and Sam both gave this guy really good advice on how to grow his platform, on the right way to handle it. And something, and he went a couple of rounds with Sam sparring, and he seems to think that Sam put everything he could into that.
No, Sam is
Now,
a former
Sam
UFC
has
fighter,
broken
two-time karate combat world champion.
Sam has broken bones in Sean Strickland. He's beat Bear senseless. If he had wanted to hurt this guy, he would have, and quickly.
Yeah. So it definitely was not a reason. It wasn't.
But the
a
guy
match, it was a sparring
doesn't seem
session,
the
but
guy doesn't seem to understand that, and
No.
that's what I find so strange. His wife was lovely, by the way. I was sitting chatting with her, but I found it so strange that he genuinely seemed to think Sam was putting in 100%, and the guy gassed out, which is how he got like light knocked out. But if Sam had wanted to knock him out, this guy, the way he was throwing, he'd throw his head down every time. We need a charger.
Absolutely.
We need a charger right now.
Yeah, the computer's better.
Huh? That's yes. Our computer is about to die. I don't know why it wasn't charged.
That's probably a failure on my end, actually. I apologize.
So we're going to have to sort that pretty quick. Is this going to affect our sound?
No.
Or light?
No.
Okay.
Oh, let me help you out, buddy.
I'm watching Alexis destroy this and Bear have 80 chords. For those that don't know, what we have going on here is Bear has this contraption hanging off the side. There's like 4 little brackets and 80 clips. If you are ever live on TuneIn BTS or on Bear's socials, you can see behind the scenes, you will see a pile of stuff.
It's controlled chaos is what
It's
I
not,
like to refer
it's not,
to it
It's
as.
not controlled chaos.
All right, how about this? I am in control of this chaos.
There's chaos. Yep. Now, we have a very, very special guest on today.
Yes.
I know we do a lot of jokey episodes, but we're going to be talking about some really serious stuff. Please remember, this is an 18 and over show.
Yes, absolutely. So please welcome to the show, Tonya, or otherwise known as Burn Beauty. I'm just getting word from our studio that she has left. So when she returns, we will absolutely get her back on. Oh, wait.
I'm back.
Hey,
How's it going?
Good. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Hear you.
Good. I clicked the button and panicked, but
no.
I'm glad to be here with you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell everyone in our audience a little bit about you? I know Bear's got your bio and we're going to ask you some questions and do all that. But from you, can you tell everyone a little bit about you?
Yes, I am Tonya Meisenbach, and I'm better known on social media as Burn Beauty 2018. And I am a domestic violence burn survivor. I suffered narcissistic abuse for 15 years, and I didn't even know I was being abused. I had no idea what emotional abuse was. I'm 52 years old, so we weren't really taught the emotional side of abuse. I mean, we were taught verbal abuse, someone yelling, and, you know, if someone's yelling at you, calling you names, I understood that. But manipulation, gaslighting, all of these things that are truly insidious, I didn't even know. So one day we'd been arguing like always, and we were sitting by our fire pit, and he doused me with lighter fluid. Now, it was a matter of me reaching out to the fire pit. And so what I could remember of it was, it was an accident, because that's what he told me when I woke up from the coma. Not to get too complex, but I had 3rd and 4th degree burns to the upper 35% of my body, my entire face, my arms. You can see everywhere that's been replaced with skin grafts. And I was in a coma for 2 months. So when I woke up, it was love bombing, but I didn't even know what that was. Now, in retrospect, I can see that. But he's telling me, oh my gosh, the accident was so bad and I'm so sorry. And, now I can see what a jerk I've been all these years. I thought I was going to lose you. And so a lot of the things that I thought were my memories were actually things he was telling me waking up from the coma. And while I was recovering for 6 months in the hospital, he never left my bedside for a minute. And I thought, look at that, he's changed. He almost lost me. He really loves me. He's staying with me. But no. Now,
he was trying to make sure you didn't remember anything and tell.
Right, or that nobody said anything to me, because the police didn't investigate. They took his word for it. We lived in North Georgia at the time, and I'm brown and he's not. And even if there wasn't that difference, crimes against women like this go largely unprosecuted in America, or in a lot of places they go largely unprosecuted.
They go largely unprosecuted anywhere.
Period.
Crimes against women of color get prosecuted even less. Crimes against women of color from white men, even less than that.
Right.
And for those, I know this is not a political statement. Go look up the numbers.
Right.
I agree. And that's why I say it's not about politics. It's not about anything other than these are the facts. This is what happened. Case closed in about 8 hours, and they knew I had the severe burns. And you think you're going to wake up from the coma, and like on TV, the police are going to be there to question you. And I always thought that would happen. I thought about it after I woke up, like, aren't they going to come ask me anything because it was such a, terrible accident? No, case is closed. And I never knew that until I looked into it last year. So the end result was me going home with my abuser because now he's my caretaker and he's pretending to be such a great guy. And narcissists live and breed on this. He's the hero now. Yeah, he's loving it, right?
Right. It's all about him.
Can
It's
you
all
please
about
beat his
him.
ass? Sorry.
Yeah, I would love that.
Can we just cage fight? Cage fight. He's welcome in the cage with Bear anytime. Anytime.
I would love that. It's funny. I started watching MMA because of him years ago. So I think that's a full circle moment.
Yeah,
Bear's gonna beat his ass.
I'm 100%. Mm-hmm. He can come spar with Bear. So you're now at home with your abuser.
Right. I'm at home with my abuser. And initially, I had to learn to eat and walk and talk and everything again. I couldn't swallow. I had a tracheotomy in. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't see very well. It was a lot. And I was recovering and having surgeries every month until COVID hit. So I got burned in 2018, in the hospital until April of 2019. Come home, have surgeries, COVID hits. Now I'm stuck at home. But even in that interim, almost immediately, he was stealing my pain medicine. No, I didn't.
There's still something going on, I'm sure.
I didn't even know that he was, because I couldn't give myself my own pain medicine. I had a feeding tube, and my medication had to be, they grind it up, put it in a syringe with water, inject it into the tube. I literally didn't eat or drink anything for 8 months because of needing to retrain my esophagus to swallow and not let things go into my trachea. So I had no idea in the beginning, but in short order, I came to realize that something is wrong. I came to realize that he was stealing it. I saw him one day take my medicine. He would get up in the morning and give me my pills and then take a shower, hop back out. And I literally laid in bed and watched him. Sorry, I'm a little wiggly. Watched him pop my pills into his mouth. And I was like, what are you doing? Now, I didn't know at the time that he was a meth addict. I don't do drugs. I'm not.
So you're married to him for 15
years.
Yeah. So now
15 years.
Addict. Yeah. He is. Narcissists can hide that.
They did. He totally did. He totally hid it for all that time. I'm having some trouble. He totally hid it for all that time. And you know what? I think the thing was that he was always on the drugs. So I didn't really know what he looked like or behaved like without them, if that makes sense.
So he's now stealing your meds. You're trapped at home with him.
Yeah. And I didn't really know what to do at that point. I was 40 something years old. And I was, even though all that was happening, we've been married for 15 years. He'd been a jerk for 15 years. But that doesn't mean he's a murderer, right? I mean, it's hard to think. It's really hard to get in your mind from the point
he tried to kill you.
Right, where someone could actually try to kill you, no matter how bad things are, because you would never do that. So it's hard to process hard to accept. So I still,
best way I ever heard it put. I work with foster children, and one of the things because I kept saying I don't understand, when these children were being abused or molested, how that could happen. And the counselor always said exactly what you said, which is you can't understand it because you do not think that way. You are not cruel. You are not mentally ill. So it's never going to make sense to you. You are never going to understand the way a broken brain works.
Right.
That is so well put, because I tell people that now. It's like, don't try to make sense of it. You never, ever will. And one of the most common things I get asked is, why did he do it? I'm like, is there actually a reason to set someone on fire? I mean, he did it because he's a sociopath, but
he reacted.
Right.
He reacted, not acted. You're standing near a fire pit. There's lighter fluid there. It's no different than punching somebody in the face. It's a reaction. I mean, in your job, it's an action. But in most places, when somebody's getting punched, it's a reaction, not an action. And to grab something and do that, that is a reaction.
But he really had a fascination with fire. His mother actually set
I take back reaction. So he's a pyro.
It was in him. Yeah, his mother had set a house on fire when she was getting divorced from his father. Fun fact, right? But still, nobody was like, hey, that probably wasn't an accident. Like nobody from the family, nobody said that. I mean, I didn't know really much about that. I knew her and she was a kind woman to me. I didn't know the background of it. Another fun fact is I have a peer counselor who was set on fire by her boyfriend, and his mother set a car on fire. So there's some kind of relationship there that I hope gets explored someday.
There's a young woman we worked with, had acid thrown in her face. By her husband. Her father-in-law had done the same thing to his first wife.
There you go.
So it's very
it's a cycle, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely cyclical. It's absolutely, because you're making it okay. And if he's around while she's setting fire to this house, that normalizes this absolutely insane behavior.
And that's why he thought it would be.
By the way, the woman that had acid thrown in her face, same situation. She made the mistake of being born black. And the guy that threw it in her face was white in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, it did not go super well for her.
God, I'm so grateful to be alive, really, after going home and he's stealing the meds,
It's insane. It's the way people treat domestic violence. By the way, shout out, Bear. I know you do Bear the Goods. You talk to young men and try and anti-tate them.
Yeah.
And talk about how to interact with women, normally. But there does seem to be a huge... America reminds me a lot of South Africa in the 80s. Hear me out before anyone gets mad. There does seem to be a very, very large divide, socially, politically, and sexually, between women and men, between the way they vote, between the way they interact.
Well, and how
I mean, even now they're talking about repealing the 19th Amendment, taking away a woman's right to vote, which in this case would then put you in an even worse position, because without the right to vote, by the way, that's also tied to a woman's right to divorce. So that would permanently trap you with your abuser.
We talk about how marriages used to be forever. You always hear, oh, people just don't work. Well, yeah, but they were to some degree trapped. It's not that this is a new epidemic of domestic violence. It's been there. But, I was taught that your marriage, you keep it to yourself, you keep it quiet. So when he was doing things like, he would disappear and not come home all night, or get mad and tear up my office, things like this, when someone is tearing up something around you or punching a wall, they really want that to be you. They're trying to intimidate you. But
it's like the guy that punches the wall next to your head.
Yes.
It's people turn around and go, but he didn't punch me. No, darling, he's showing you and threatening you that he is going to punch you.
Right. That he wanted to, and he's threatening you.
Yeah. Now, how in God's name did you get away from this lunatic?
Well, I'm
by the
grace of God, he's stealing pain pills. Eventually, the way that I found out he was on meth is several years later, after I'd started doing social media, right? Because I do makeup, and as a burn survivor, I wanted people to understand beauty, because I'd really, really come to to love myself in that period of time when my face, the old face was gone, the face that I never thought was good enough. And then I was presented with, me, myself, and I learned to love. So I was doing that and, but not really making any money, just doing it and and happy. But something happened. He got angry about something. He was jealous of that. Right? Me recovering. And I couldn't understand that. It's
Because
like,
a
so,
narcissist needs you broken, so you need them.
right. And I couldn't understand, like, okay, this accident happened. Why aren't you cheering for me? Why aren't you proud of me?
Right.
Right.
Well,
I
you
was just,
said that you're getting better.
right. It's like, oh God, thank God, by the grace of God. No, he was jealous. And we were arguing something about that. And he stepped out of the house and I grabbed this bag, like a little backpack that he would always carry with him. Something just told me, open this bag. I opened it and out fell like cocaine and heroin and meth. I didn't know what it all was, but I knew the meth because it looked like crystals. It looked like
Okay.
ice. And I was like, okay, I know what that is. And there were pills. I took a picture of it and I called the police, but he grabbed the stuff, pretended to flush it, and he left before they got there. And I was like, look at this. This is what he has. Because I was done with him, right? I was just done. I didn't know how I was going to survive, but no, we're not doing drugs. They didn't do it. They were like, oh, well, we can't really do anything. It's just a picture. And I was like, well, he took the stuff and he left. He's in a big truck that, he can't be, you can go get him. He has to drive. No, we can't do that. It's just a picture. So, in that
That's
time
ridiculous.
period, though, I was so angry about everything, and I thought I just need to really pour myself more into what I'm doing, and I did that, and I eventually started doing TikTok live streams, and I would do my makeup every day and tell my story. And after a few months, my story didn't match the picture in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like I was kind of on autopilot because I did this 5 days a week. So I'm doing my makeup and I'm telling it, but every once in a while I would say something and then I would get a flash of like what really happened.
Hmm.
Right. And yeah, I kind of sat with that for a while, but fortunately I was in therapy. And I eventually asked my therapist, maybe after about a month of it happening, I said, is this possible? Could this really be, telling her what I remembered? And she's like, yeah, it's more than possible. Because I believe she already knew. As a therapist, she knew the ins and outs of it. And she knew the story and she knew the dynamic that we were having with him stealing my pills and still not being good to me. She knew all of the things. So she was like, yeah, definitely. And the one thing she said though was you can't tell him that you remember. He will harm you. He will end you. He will kill you. And I called an attorney, even though I didn't have any money of my own. And he said the same thing. You need to get to a safe place before you do anything. You're not filing for anything. You don't say anything. So there I am in the house and I'm doing these live streams and I'm trying to really monetize my content at that point. That was 2023. I was burned in 2018 and came home in 2019. So it's been 4 years with this guy. And most of them haven't been good. He pretended to be a good guy at the hospital, but he couldn't
People were
uphold that.
watching.
Yeah, if people were watching, he's a good guy, but he didn't really. Yeah, I thought he was being good to me, but he was only being good when people were looking. There's even some moments I remember at the hospital when I'm in the hospital bed that he wasn't being very nice, where he's like just little things that you wouldn't think would happen if you love somebody and they're laying in a bed after waking up from a coma. So there's all the red flags that I didn't heed. And after 15 years, I was so, they call it trauma bonded to him that I think it took everything that happened to get me out, to make it so that I understood, no, he can't change. No, he doesn't love you. No, there's no hope. He's burned me. He said he would be better. He's not better. He's stealing my pills.
A narcissist is not capable of loving you. It's not capable
They
of loving
aren't.
anyone.
And they aren't. And he in particular, top it off, he's a sociopath for sure. He's not only that, you guys are gonna I then found out after I started researching it, which is something I should have done 20 years before, but
Right.
at the time we got together, you didn't really go on the internet and background check. I don't even think I had a Yahoo email address at the time we met in 2004. So we didn't do the background checks that I would definitely do now. But he had a conviction as a sex offender in
Oh,
college, not with a
oh,
child, but it said, I don't know the story, but it said the only information I can find, because it doesn't give a name, of course, but that it was a physically helpless victim over over 16. I don't know how they classify it, but clearly something to indicate that. But being that he was in college, it would be a girl in college or someone, I guess, in college, and he pled no contest. And then he's there in Georgia and he's not on the sex offender registry. He had gotten off somehow.
that was probably one of the parameters of his plea of sorts. Is they get a, although I'm surprised he didn't have to do a guilty plea, but
And there were no
He did a
contest.
no contest.
Yeah, that
yeah,
means I'm not
that's pretty
arguing.
much
That's guilty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's guilty, right? That's basically
Yeah.
guilty.
And so it may have been
Adjudication
what they did is, and they do that a lot where they make deals to get a conviction of sorts, or they get you to admit you did it. It's just, all right, well, you don't have to go through a registry, you don't have to serve time.
No.
You have
But she
time
was saying he
served.
should have been on the
Oh,
registry.
he should have, absolutely.
Well, he was on the Florida one, but
Okay.
not
But he
Georgia.
just didn't transfer to
Got
Georgia.
it.
So
Like, well, he got out of it somehow because they didn't do anything about that either.
Yeah.
But and that
they always
horrible.
seem to let it go, and every time they let it
Yeah.
go, these guys end up doing
gets
something
worse. They let it go and let it go, and I mean,
You know, all of this, and of course, the story comes from a very dark place. And I'm sorry, I really am that it happened. But you know what? I got to tell you, you look so strong. You look so good. You're clearly a good role model of people who are going through tough times, have been through situations like yours, or have any type of injuries or markings or wounds from a past relationship. I do want to talk to you a little bit about your own foundation that you started. I believe it's
Yes.
Burned Beauty Foundation. Could you tell us a little
Yes.
more about that?
Well, I started the Burn Beauty Foundation in 2021, and that was the first thing I did before I did Burn Beauty 2018. I had just a little bit of money of my own, and I just had it in my heart that I wanted to help other survivors, before I knew anything about the domestic violence portion of it. Just with, I think beauty gets lost. I do beauty as a burn survivor, but a lot of people will say, well, you're disfigured, which literally means to spoil the appearance of, to ruin the appearance of, definition of the word. And so I wanted to have a foundation that really can uplift people in ways that might not be conventional, give a place where we can provide services for makeup, anything. I had a really wide idea of what I wanted to do at the time. Well, now that I understand the domestic violence portion, I want to do that for everyone. I want to do that for, there's so many women and confidence is the biggest thing that's lacking. It's the biggest thing that really sets us up to be susceptible to the men, being an empath, having some insecurities, having some triggers, and they feed on that. So I really want to help with mental health services, beauty, all the things. And I'm really excited that now I'm finally starting to do a collab with the Burn Beauty Foundation. I've kind of been holding on to it because I know how to run a business, and I kind of jumped in full, feet first. I was like, oh, wait, I don't know how to run a foundation. But now I have a collab coming up with Tiffany Haddish, working with a birthday celebration for Angelique Bates. It's all that in a bag of jokes. So it's a fundraiser. And
Shout out to Melting Pot PR. They own Bear.
yes. Shout out to Melting Pot. They're so
Yes.
good. I mean, bringing that
they
together.
they own Bear.
They own me.
They own you.
They own me. And they brought this out, really. It was with their help that they're like, hey, yeah, you can, you can start running this, even though, I'm at a point where I'm transitioning and I feel almost insecure myself, moving to LA and being on my own for the first time at 52. Literally the first time I've ever lived alone with no husband or children, because I was married before, and
Gotcha.
But I think that's a really good learning curve. That's adding even more to what we can do as a foundation, and Melting Pot really bringing that out. And so in December, we have it scheduled for December 8th.
I'm
And
I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask you because we've got two. You're trying to work with young men specifically to correct the Andrew Tateism of it all. You reach out
yes,
to young women.
yes.
What advice? I'm going to ask you what advice you would have for young men to avoid turning into that predator, and what advice you would have for young women to avoid them.
Oh,
That's interesting.
So
that's
I kind of want to.
interesting. We never think about that side
Yeah,
of it.
fine.
Hmm.
What to do for young men. I think number one is that mental health matters. You do need to talk to someone. I think there's not enough therapy for young men. I think they get um a bad rap from their friends and things if they were like, oh, I'm in therapy. But eh, go to therapy, talk to someone, and hopefully be respectful. I think you need a positive male influence if you don't have one in the home, which is often, a big problem. Or if who you have in the home is not positive, is unkind. Don't be afraid to reach out for help for yourself so that you don't feel that anger and these things, that is not okay. And they say men will do anything except go to therapy. I keep hearing that quote on social media, and I'm like, well, to a degree, a lot of it, anything except that. So, please get help. It's not normal. It's not
Keep
okay.
that in
It's not
mind.
normal.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I love
What
that.
what advice would you give young women to avoid that?
Probably the best thing to say is look out for your biggest red flags and remember that the person you
What are the
want
big red
to,
flags?
well, the person you want to spend your time with, the person you want to be in your life, supporting you, should do exactly that. You should be their number one priority. They should always be looking for ways to help or uplift you. And if you're in a situation where your ideas are constantly put down, you're constantly being belittled, you don't feel you have a say. It's not feelings. It probably is very much the reality you're living. So I would advise you get out of that situation with that person. And yeah, that's it. I think you should
Yeah.
just be looking at people who support who you are. And if they don't, they're not the right person for you.
Yes. And absolutely tell someone, really thinking about it. That was such a good question. Like, really thinking about it in both cases,
Oh,
communication, tell somebody what's
and
Yeah.
happening.
and
Speak.
that's it. A lot of these young men that end up acting out like this have been told, this is what normal is. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is what normal is.
Like setting houses on fire.
Like setting houses on
Yeah.
fire because that's been
That's
normalized.
their normal.
Right. You
And
can
so
normalize.
and young women stay in those situations because it's been normalized. Their mother
Mhm.
stayed.
Yep.
So, what do we need to
That's
do?
true.
And I'm going to ask both of you, what do we need to do to get young people out of these situations?
I believe I believe that my truth is my power. So number one, I think that we need to tell our stories. When I tell my story, I get such a response from and questions from people like, "Oh my gosh, my guy did that same thing. Do you think it's okay?" And it's like, "Well, you wouldn't be asking if
If yeah.
If you thought it was
yeah, if it was okay." But definitely tell your story. And I don't there's a male narcissist on Instagram that tells his story as a diagnosed narcissist, and
Oh,
Lee Hammock, mental illness. There's a few, but he's the guy who used to have dreads and I cut his hair. Watching him helped me so much. The little skits he did, because I realized he would be doing the skit like an argument with a narcissist, and it would be almost verbatim. And I
there
thought, how
there's
is that
there
possible?
yeah, there are a couple great ones. Undercover Narc, there are a few of them that
Oh
are
yeah, yeah.
phenomenal. So if you can look
Absolutely.
at narcissism, sociopathy, the dark triad. Any of those three, they cross over enough. Sociopathy, psychopathy, and narcissism cross over enough.
Yes,
If they're showing signs of one, run.
it's
It doesn't
there.
matter which one they have. Don't figure
Right.
it out. Leave.
yeah,
And
it's not your
those are
job.
the things, no,
It's
yeah,
not your
there's no
job to
cure.
fix.
But our truth, listen, speak out and listen. My power is being able to tell you what happened, even though people are very, of course, if you're on social media, people are very judgmental of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm not going to live in his shame, and I'm not going to feel bad for what he did to me, and I'm not going to feel bad for being a good person. That it's like, no, no, no. Now, I wish I had the information that I have now. I wish I had been able to look and see someone do a skit and realize verbatim that this is what's happening to me. Oh, maybe that's not right. So we really need to share. We have to do conversations like this. We have to tell our stories. And it's not easy because of all the judgment in the public
No,
arena.
it's not. It's not. And I absolutely agree with you. Actually, I think my opinion would be to communicate, tell people about what's going on. And if you feel that you speaking what's happening to you is in some way wrong, or it's going to be harmful to the other person, then that's something you should say. I think when something has become a secret, or it has to be, or you're doing someone a favor by not sharing the story, or feel you're helping out your spouse by not telling them how they're being treated, then that is the number one indication that you need to be talking about what's happening, because clearly what's happening is not right if you're being told to keep it under wraps.
Right. And we were literally just trained that way, being my generation, Gen X, and, from the South and raised by my grandmother.
Right.
You kept, your marriage is sacred. That's your person. You don't chat because, your friends are going to cause problems. Well, yeah, they are, because they're going to say that's not normal.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you things. So that's what we have to break that. I'm having so much trouble with my tripod. I'm so sorry, y'all.
It's all right. We're at the end of the show.
Understandable.
I'm going to tell everyone this. There is a great film, Carey Mulligan's in it. It's about wasted potential. If y'all can tell me what it is and you follow this gorgeous woman here, you can win a free ride at Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California. Tell me the name of that film. Follow this gorgeous, gorgeous woman. Tell everyone where to find you on social media.
I am Burned Beauty 2018 on every platform: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And there's different content there. The deep dive, if you're really concerned about your relationship, is more on YouTube with the longer form content. Watch and believe that you need to understand that you're in a dangerous situation if any of these things are happening to you. I talk a lot about red flags.
Now, this can happen to guys, this can happen to girls, this can happen in hetero relationships, this can happen in gay relationships. I don't care where you are. If you see any of this,
right,
get help, reach out.
Narcissism is everywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's terrible. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see y'all again.
It's wonderful to see you. Guys, please follow her. This is really, really rampant. We are seeing, especially with Gen Z, these problems are getting larger with Gen Z. We've got people that have been kept away from each other. We're missing a lot of these social problems. So please, 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 if you see yourself in any trouble, get some help.
Yeah.
I'm the Baroness. We are on with my co-host, Bear Fiorda. This is Behind the Scenes. I know this was a more serious topic. If you need help, please call the police. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with the Baroness and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk 4 Media.